But in the book, you guys brought up, you brought up the carb loading and how, yeah, for some elite level athletes, that might still be a valid approach. But you came forward with another one you called the modified carb loading approach that I thought for most people is going to probably be more appropriate to their goals and how they want to run their race. Can you talk about the modified carb loading process?
Yeah, so we include the modified carb loading process and a traditional carb loading process in the book. And Jeff speaks from experience from training runners for 50 plus years. I have to put on that registered dietitian's hat, and I feel like I always have to say, well, if I go to my education, it says this, right? And that's that traditional carb loading plan, because that's still in every sports nutrition handbook. That's when someone says, how do I feel for a race? There's research out there, and there is research now that says maybe we can do things a little bit differently, but that's still sort of the gold standards. But when I look at those numbers, the people I work with, the people Jeff works with, even Jeff's son, who is my husband, who can run a sub 3 hour marathon, that's not necessarily what they need. And everything you said about gaining weight is what happens to people. Then they get frustrated with their diet, they get frustrated with their performance, and they want to give up. And that is my least favorite thing in the world. I want people to keep feeling confident and empowered to make better nutrition choices. So with the modified carb loading program, that's when you're looking ahead at those long runs. For some people, that's over an hour. For some people, that's 90 minutes. For some people, that's even longer. But as a dietitian, I always want to make sure that we're making the most people safe. So let's say 60 minutes for that. And then it's looking at adding in one additional carb, basically the 5 days up until the race or the long run. For women, a lot of us do lower carbs, and sometimes at night. I recommend that to a lot of my clients. So for the women in particular, it's important. Hey, these are the nights that we're not thinking about the scale. We're treating ourselves like an athlete and thinking about performance. And then that race morning, you're going to have about 150 to 200 grams of carb 3 to 4 hours before the race, a little carbohydrate snack like that. So it's really focusing on let's just not forget the carbs. Let's not go crazy. We don't need to have 3,000 calories, as you said, because the impact on our performance is going to be minimal, and the risk of weight gain, digestive discomfort, all kinds of things is going to be much higher. Jeff, do you fall in line with that thinking?
Absolutely. And of course, there are a growing number of people that we work with who have diabetes or are borderline, and they absolutely need to eat something before running, or most of them do. And of course, Carissa addresses these issues in the book extremely well. But my whole take on the carbohydrate loading thing is that too much loading leads to unloading during the event, and that can be downright embarrassing.